What's up, guys? We got Good Trouble, Season 1, Episode 11, Less Than. Okay, so this episode starts off with Callie saying, "Hey, Stef, Lena, you shouldn't, don't talk about don't talk about the Jamal case or knowing Malika or any of that." And she's like, yeah, we won't. And they're going to Judge Wilson's house because Callie was like, "Hey, the Stephanie or she's Stephanie, Mariana, and Jamie are going to a restaurant." And Judge Wilson was like, "No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. I'll invite you over to my house." So I speculate. She's like, "Hey, how's the spreadsheet going?" And she's for the gender pay gaps, and so Alice and Joey are hanging out when Sumi comes by, and Sumi's like, "Hey, I just asked to return your hair tie." Like it's just like, "Oh, Sumi, you're just trying to make up excuses." Oh, Sumi, it's just like, so she's like, "Hey, let's invite Mira over for dinner for the wedding." So let's talk about that. So they go over to Judge Wilson's house. Where actually Callie and we get a flashback. There's a lot of flashbacks in this show where Stef and Lena are fighting over something, and she's like, "You can do whatever you want." She's out, and Mariana's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, and they're like, nothing going on. Everything's fine." So Callie sends out, with the Jamal case still going, Callie sends a video of Jamal, gets a video of Jamal saying these weird and things against women, and Malika and her friends see it, and they're like, "Hey, we're still gonna support Jamal," and Davia's like, "Hey, how could you support this guy?" And she's like, he went against his own race or something, and even Isaac's like says something, and Malika contradicts what Alex says, and he's like, he's like, "Hey, do you want to break up?" And she said nothing, and he walks out. So that's the end of He says something. Well, anyway, and Malika's crying. So anyway. So Tate sees that he's gone. Callie sees that Tate has his ankle bracelet off because they dropped the charges, and she's like, "How could they just drop the charges like that? He took a swing at a police officer." And even flashes back to when Callie was running to trying to hide from Judge Wilson's son, and what Judge Wilson's son said to her. Anyway, so let's talk about the awkward dinner between Sumi, Mira, and Joey. It's really awkward because Sumi keeps talking about how she met Alice. She said that how Alice accidentally ran into her and spilled something on her, and when Joey asks, "Hey, what about how did you meet her and me?" Sumi's like, "Oh, that's just a boring story." And Sumi's like, "Hey," and Mira's like, "Hey, stop licking Alice's ass or butt." Yeah, stop licking her butt. It's just like, and she's like, "How could our story is not boring?" So we're already seeing the cracks in the Mira-Sumi relationship. relationship because Sumi, for some reason, is flirting with Alice in front of her fiance. As we see of her saying, of her always talking about Alice and her kissing Alice in the last episode, and her wanting to return Alice's hair tie in the beginning scene. It's just like, Sumi, you gotta pick. Do you want to marry Mira or do you want to be with Alice? You can't be flirting with your ex, but when you're about to marry this girl named Mira, you can't do that. That's not how the relationship works. Sumi, I don't get Sumi at all. But yeah, it's just, this is an awkward dinner. It's an awkward dinner. It's an awkward one. So yeah, so they get back from whatever they were doing, and they're like, hey, and Callie and Mariana are like, hey, but anyway, Judge Wilson is like to Callie, hey, to basically just say to his son, whatever, and he's like, hey Callie, you were able to get your life around, and now you work for me. You're able to get your life around, and have a successful career, while Tate hasn't done anything. He's basically, yeah. But anyway, let's talk. So Callie and after that night, Callie and Mariana bring Stephanie home, and they're like, hey, you two, you need to talk about your problems. There's something going on. So yeah. So she's like, oh. So she starts talking about, Lena, this isn't you. Your friend Margot told you to straighten her hair. What happened to Lena? What happened to Queen Lena Foster? And what happened to her? And so yeah, what happened to you? And she's like, hey, if you want to work with Margot, that's it. I'm done, and walks away. So and she's like, and they're like, that was awkward. And anyway, yeah. So they talk about it. Lena's like, hey, if you want me to say assembly, and she's like, no, I want you to be my staff. I want you to be my manager. And she's like, I know nothing about managing someone. And they basically tell her the lesson of the episode: be yourself. So basically, or something like that. So Mariana basically goes up to the women of Speculate on a roof or something, and she's basically like, hey, we got band together and stop this, and they're like, hey, if you want to stop this gender pay gap, you got, so Raj puts his name on the gender pay gap, and then Mariana puts her name on the gender pay gap, and so that episode was awkward as it was good awkward. It wasn't a bad awkward. We got Stef and Lena back again. We had Sumi still with Alice in front of Mira, and Mira basically, and we had basically Judge Wilson saying that Callie is better than his son because Callie turned her life around and took a swing at a police officer. But yeah, that basically wraps up this episode of The Good Trouble. I am almost finished this review series. I am excited to get season 2 of Good Trouble and then season 3 because I just love doing these reviews. I was thinking of stopping these reviews, but I was just like, no. I'm doing these for you guys. You seem to like them. I seem to like them. And we will continue the Good Trouble goodness. I'm kind of predicting that Good Trouble will either end in season 4 or 5, or they'll go longer. I'm just saying. I'm just predicting that either Good Trouble will have the same seasons as the Fosters had, or it'll be so popular. Actually, the Fosters was popular. Or it'll go longer. I don't know. I'm just saying that's my prediction that the Fosters will have the same seasons as Good Trouble will have the same seasons as Foster, or it will go longer. But anyway, that's it for my review. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. Comment and subscribe. And I'll basically see you guys in the next one. Bye.